All right, well, we're going to talk some politics right now because former President Trump, he's facing a new indictment from alleged interference with the 2020 election.
But there's also a new controversy from ceremonies he attended at the Arlington National Cemetery. A couple things going on here. Good Day's Robert Moses joins us to sort it all out. Robert, good morning.
Dan and Tashani, good morning to you. Let's tackle the indictment first. It is highly unlikely that former President Donald Trump will face a trial on those charges before the election, and if he wins, he would likely have the Justice Department dismiss the case altogether. The former president maintains that this indictment is just as flawed as the previous one. Special counsel Jack Smith filed a new indictment in the 2020 election interference case in an effort to comply with the Supreme Court's ruling last month granting former presidents broad immunity from prosecution for official acts. The charges against the former president remain the same, but there are key changes. The new indictment scraps allegations that former President Trump tried to sway the Justice Department to bolster his false claims of a stolen election. However, the new indictment keeps summaries of his interactions with Mike Pence, and it stresses that he wasn't just the vice president at the time, but also his running mate. Prosecutors believe that the former president's appeals to then Vice President Pence to flip the election his way do not constitute official acts. Former President Trump reacted strongly on social media. The illegally appointed special counsel deranged Jack Smith has brought a ridiculous new indictment against me, which has all the problems of the old indictment and should be dismissed immediately.
I think it's clearly an effort to try to do more election interference from Jack Smith. He should be ashamed of himself.
Congressman Jamie Raskin, a Democrat from Maryland, disagrees.
Jack Smith has operated with surgical accuracy and precision.
This morning, the former president finds himself embroiled in a new controversy. A spokesperson for Arlington National Cemetery confirms that a confrontation took place between Trump campaign staff and a cemetery worker on Monday when the former president participated in a wreath-laying ceremony for American service members who were killed 3 years ago in Afghanistan. Federal law prohibits election-related activities on cemetery grounds, including photography, which the cemetery says it made clear to all participants. A Trump campaign spokesman maintains that a private photographer was allowed on the premises and a worker, quote, clearly suffering from a mental health episode decided to physically block members of President Trump's team during a very solemn ceremony. Utah Governor Spencer Cox, a Republican, shared a picture with the former president and others posing with their thumbs up around the grave of Staff Sergeant Darren Taylor Hoover, one of the 13 Americans who died. Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, who begin a bus tour in Georgia today, will sit for their first joint interview. That interview is set to air tomorrow night on CNN. Dan?
Robert, thank you very much. Looking forward to it.